Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Milk and Honey Club DeFi Daily Talk. I'm joined again today by Xavier, the co-founder of Milk and Honey Club, and I myself am imvi, one of the other co-founders. Today we're going to continue our talk on some solutions to hedge against down market trends, talk about the possible bounce we're seeing here, and go into a little bit of detail on the Lunaterra UST crisis. And why I think it won't affect other stables, and kind of my points as to why I believe as a market the stables are protected. UST was a crisis outlier that was bound to happen. But instead of me just talking talking the whole time like I usually do, why don't you open it up, Xavier? I think it would be kind of cool maybe to talk about the bounce that we're seeing. I know you're a chartist. You actually sent me a couple days ago, and we posted on the Milk and Honey Club Twitter a Bitcoin hourly projection. You called it, I think, your thoughts or my thoughts, and it actually followed that almost perfectly up to this point. So, do you think we're going to be breaking that daily upper level pretty soon, or do you think we're going to be testing? I'd say for Bitcoin like 27K again.
I would say personally, I don't think we're heading back down again. If we go down and test 27K again, that'd look weak to me, especially after the downward trend we just had the past 48 hours. That would be weak to me, so I would want to see Bitcoin reclaim 30K and proceed forward. I know both of us, we had a real late night last night. There's so many tokens and coins out there were just setting such the bottom signals in there, and I know we both jumped in BNB. I think you got lucky and got what did you get, like 208 or something crazy?
Yeah, I got right above there. It was so much. I was using Trust Wallet, so I was doing a swap with BUSD. I had BUSD sitting, and I was kind of worried because right when I was trying to swap, it was that 27K mark on Bitcoin that we'd been waiting for months and months, and we've talked about on this kind of to watch out for that area. So that was like my buy area. Even though I was buying BNB, I was watching the Bitcoin chart. So I got to that 27K range, and at the same exact basically minute it hit 27K, I'm watching all the sell volume go through, and then I'm watching the Coinbase USDT chart.
I know we both were watching that live. We were both snagging that dip up like crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. So it dipped from $1 USDT to 94 cents. This is through Coinbase routing, which I think is the best indicator. Someone was giving me shit kind of yesterday going, why do you use Coinbase? Well, most of these fucking people who are doing tether shit, if you think about it on like a retail level, as far as like sentiment goes, they're using Coinbase. So I like the chart as a measure of sentiment. Thus, I use what I believe to have the best sentiment. So I was looking at the Coinbase USDT. Right when Bitcoin hit 27K, boom, USDT drops 94 cents. Scared the shit out of me. You had like Bloomberg at 2 a.m. publishing articles. Is this the USDT?
Is this the end of crypto as we know it?
Yeah, the next UST peg failure. Anyway, long story short, Tether put out a tweet. They did a Spaces this morning on Twitter. It showed Tether works as a stable. What they were able to do was they were able to provide liquidity to quickly get it back to $1. So in my eyes, that was a success. It worked out. It's trading back at $1 right now on Coinbase. It was only sub 98 cents for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. So
that for me shows, yeah.
Go for it.
I'm sorry. That for me just shows a lot of the fear and the panic is subsiding within this, micro move in the crypto markets. The fact that it was able to bounce right back to $1, to me at least shows that we're kind of past that initial phase of sell everything, get out of the market, freak out kind of a thing. So I think right now, And we're seeing this on the charts across the board. We're just seeing hammer candles like I've never seen before. Some of the nicest looking hammer candles I've ever seen, and that's how you know a bottom is being set in my opinion. So I know we both snagged that BNB around 210. I got it around 212. Had to flip it, a couple hours later. It was a late night, like I said, but actually, right before we got on this podcast, I actually had to scoop up some crow at 17 cents. It was just looking way too juicy down there. So we'll see how that plays out. But
Yeah,
I
Crow.
know across the board, if you go out there and look at the charts, we're starting to see a lot of daily hammer candles, a lot of charts kind of reclaiming, even if it's a bear channel, it's reclaiming the lower trend line. So it's at least it's able to form a new pattern now. We'll see if it can turn bullish. I think worst case scenario, we're going to see a lot of dead cat bounces across the board, which there's money to be made. So just trade accordingly, manage your risks. That's all. That's my 2 cents on that. But it'll be an exciting. I think it'll be an exciting weekend. Usually, cryptos, nothing's really going on in the weekend, but I think we could be in store for some fireworks this weekend. You never know.
Yeah, I think this prior to this with UST, the sentiment was extremely low. When you come to the conclusion that there's not a safe space to store your money, even in a stable, a lot of those Luna guys, a lot of the Lunaterra guys that
It's
use
not like it just went down
USD.
5%. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not my 99% gone.
Yeah, and so when you have a peg like that fails across the market, if you don't understand the technicals and where the money's coming from to provide that liquidity, you might think, hey, is USDT going to fail? Is BUSD going to fail? Is USDC going to fail? So you get scared. And I think we saw a lot of that recently. So to have USDT go through what it went through at the pivotal point of Bitcoin being that 27K retracement and survive, I think that's really bullish. That being said, like Xavier said, I flipped the fuck out of the position I picked up.
You have to, yeah.
Super, super early in the morning, my time. I mean, I've taken such a loss like everyone else over the past week that I can't afford not to secure cash profit, and again, consider this in your trading strategy. If you are losing value and you do have the skill set of being able to trade, like swing trade or day trade, $200 a day, $6,000 a month, on a averaged out. So you don't have to go for moonshots in bear markets. You can
No,
go for
not at all.
and usually the volatility in bear markets, there's always a bounce. If something goes down a quick 3% on the chart, you kind of can almost know it's going to bounce 2% pretty quick. So if you have, it's safer the more money you have because you can play bigger lot sizes. And you only need maybe a 10, 20 cent, 30 cent move on something like BNB to be able to make hundreds of dollars, or maybe $1, $2 move to make hundreds of bucks. So I understand there's different levels, but when you are playing the flip game, don't do it with meme tokens. Don't do it with altcoins. The only way you can play the flip game during these bear market trends is if you're playing ones with extremely high volume. Volume's the key here. So just my word of advice, as another strategy, if you do have the skill set to swing or day trade, nobody can do it with these meme altcoins. That's gambling. You got to
There's
do it with high volume.
yeah. There's no reason to even look at meme tokens or anything like that, in my opinion, because you got to take what the market's giving you. You can't fight it. There's really, to me, there's nothing wrong with a bear market. There's just so much money to be made in the bear market. And if you're a believer in the long term for crypto or any asset really that's going through a down phase, it's a blessing in disguise because you're able to take advantage of that and really grow exponentially over the next cycle, the next bull cycle. So when you're looking at like BNB and a lot of these other quote unquote like blue chip coins in the crypto space that before this they were volatile because it's in crypto, but for in crypto terms, it's kind of more like Apple or GE or, blue chip stock where it's not really moving a lot. So if you're a smaller player, yeah, I get it. It's 4 or 5% a day. When you're seeing meme tokens go off for 10, 20, 30 bags every day, I get it. But the market's giving you an opportunity right now where all these solid fundamental coins and projects, they're they're bouncing around like 10, 20, 30, some even 40, if you go with the intraday swings percent a day. uh you just got to take advantage of that. You got to like get locked in. You got to focus. You got to look at the 1 minute, 5 minute, hourly chart. You got to get a feel for the trend because you can get in and out multiple times a day. Like I know we both did in B&B today, and I'm looking
Yeah.
at Crow tomorrow, getting a little bounce back for us and bringing that liquidity and volatility again and really making some profitable trades. But if the market is giving you something like that, you got to take advantage of it. Don't get sidetracked. Don't get greedy. Don't be looking at these shit coins, these meme tokens. It's just not going to get you anywhere. When you could hop on something that's pretty sound, that's you could say undervalued right now, and really trade it for what it is. Trade the trend, trade the volatility, trade everything on it. Build a position so that way when we do have the next bull cycle, there's what's stopping BNB from going to 600 plus again? What's stopping Bitcoin from getting up there again? What's stopping any of these coins? I'm looking at EOS too. I mean, EOS to me is getting juicy down here. It's There's just so much opportunity. I just don't fucking do it. Don't get sidetracked on these meme coins because they
Yeah.
already had nothing going on when the market was in a bull cycle or in a healthy phase. So clearly they got no business doing anything in a bear market phase. That's just my 2 cents on it. I don't know if you want to add to that or what your opinion is on that, but go ahead.
No, I think you said it perfect. Just to not to add as far as strategy wise, just one more tool. Uh, you really gotta plan a trade and trade a plan if you're going to be active trading. Meaning, I'll put it on the when we get off here in a bit. I'll put it on the in the call deal, and I'll put it on Twitter. While we were on this thing, I picked up 265 BNB. I picked up 20 BNB at 265. I'm looking for a 272, 275 exit in the next probably 24 hours, might be 8 hours, might be this hour. That's what's so crazy. In these bear trends, you can have $10 moves very, very, very quickly. And you can have that from the middle bully to the top bully, from the middle to the top, back down to the middle to the top 5 or 6 times a day. And if you're doing it through a DEX, I mean, you do get hit with those taxes and fees, but I mean, it's pretty crazy. You get to keep your money kind of in the side on a wallet that, at the end of the day is decentralized. Read into that what you want. So again, this opportunity we don't see during like good markets, slow markets, even bull markets. We don't really see $10 swing opportunities occur 5, 6 times a day. So,
No.
for me, if I can take 5 shots and win 4 of them, that's $800 on a pretty relatively safe hour bully pattern trading deal.
Mm.
And when you when you factor in like monthly fib, I don't think anything under a week, maybe a month, really works for like fib stuff. I don't know. Maybe
The
I don't
weekly.
understand. Yeah, maybe I don't understand it on the hourly, but it's never worked for me. But when I see, we're trading in this new fib zone. It's the first time on the monthly moving average we're trading under the line, and we're hitting new fibs. You just know there's going to be unbelievable volume coming into this market just from traders, or algorithmic trading, bot trading. It's going to happen. So take advantage of it while it's here. It's not always a bad thing to have these massive bear markets. There's always a silver lining to it.
Well, one of my favorite parts of bear market, even in a bull market too, the chart patterns you see, you can trust them more because they're happening so fast. They're developing so fast. Like let's take BNB for example.
And they're
We both
developing
jumped in again.
all the
I'm looking for like 275. That 275 zone is probably it's going to be resistance because that used to be a support level. So we're sitting here going, listen, we're going to be selling around 272, 275. I'll probably sell half my position and then evaluate what it's doing. But if it's cranking past 275, all right, it's gonna pop off to the next level. If it's failing there, all right, let me just get out, reevaluate it. Maybe it's got to go down another ABC corrective phase. A lot of these patterns you see, you can trust them more because they're happening on a shorter time frame. So if you're sitting there going, like, traditionally, if you're in a long term time frame, like a yearly chart or monthly or something, you could be like, this the support level, this resistance level kind of teetering on it. I don't know what to do. And then, that usually winds up happening. And then people usually hold too long or they wait too long to do, to buy or sell whatever they're doing. But on these shorter time frames, if it's failing at a support, get out. It's
yeah,
going to go down.
exactly.
If it's struggling at a resistance, get out. If it's flying past 275 or a resistance point, it's gonna pop off for another probably 5-10%. It's gonna have a little blue sky breakout until it hits the next either fib retracement, next trend line, reclaim a trend line, whatever. So that
Yeah,
to me is it's another strategy. I know we both deploy it, but it's one of the beautiful things in a bear market. You got to look at the silver lining.
yeah, and guys, I'm out of a trade more often than I'm in a trade, and I think that's probably the way it is with most traders who, focus on one specific or two specific tokens or coins to just pattern day trade. Uh, I'm out of a trade, meaning I'm not actively in a trade. I'm on the sidelines far more often than I'm in a trade. That's good for your mental too.
Oh,
Everybody's
big
on
time.
Reddit and whatnot is losing their mind, rightfully so. You're seeing like subreddits close because too many people are posting they're gonna commit suicide. Like it's not funny.
It's
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 not
it's
funny.
sad, yeah, but
It's sad,
they
but
just you need to be smarter than that.
but you gotta recognize that before it gets to the point, and not so much in a financial sense, but if you lost something, a physical item in your life, and your life follows that item, mean you also take your life, you should probably distance yourself from that item because it's an addictive thing. And these people need to realize that if you're passive trading or if you're passive income, if you make something, it goes back to the take your profit. These people wouldn't have suicidal tendencies if they had 300 of their 400K in cash, or
Yeah. The other issue
200
is
or
if
even
you're
100 of
yeah,
their 400K they lost in cash. It's
yeah.
just you're dealing with an all or don't put yourself in all or nothing situations.
If you're putting that much stock in one single item, no matter what it is, it's just destined to fail. I'm sorry to say it, but you can't live your life around that much pressure, that much stress. The smallest mistake is just going to get magnified because you have that much stock. All your energy is just devoted to that, like your dreams, everything. It's just the slightest mistake is just going to be magnified. And that's what we're seeing. People, they're not taking profits, like you said. They're putting rent money in when they shouldn't. And it's just, you got to take a step back. The more you can stay calm and at peace. I know you and I were both big on, like finding that inner peace, like the soul, your soul. You got to be at ease with everything because once your mind is clear and free, you can achieve anything you want. It's kind of crazy how the universe it kind of like aligns like that. It kind of works. It's just you got to keep a clear cut mind. It's going to pay dividends. You can't go into these trades, crypto, stocks, NFTs, whatever you're doing in life. Like even if it's just your day job, you just can't put that much of your life into it, your energy. It's just going to burn you.
Yeah. And you know half of the success in this game, I personally believe, I think
Just
you do
survive
too,
until tomorrow.
is that surviving till tomorrow, that guaranteeing yourself some sort of paycheck. My personal thing is I'm trying to put $200 a day in my bank because I'm like everyone else probably listening. I have bills. America ain't cheap if you're listening from overseas either. It's getting more expensive by the minute
By the
with what
hour.
we're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have a clock
Made
for
it
it,
even
and it
better.
hasn't stopped going up. Yeah, uh, so it's getting expensive over here, and it's getting expensive everywhere. It's getting really expensive in Canada. A lot of Western countries. So you gotta, at the end of the day, money management wise, to relieve stress, you still can't pay your rent with BNB where I live. I still can't pay my rent with Ethereum. Still can't pay it with Bitcoin. Hopefully one day I see that coming very soon, but as of right now, I can't do it. So I have to pay that money at some point. I need to alleviate the stress of having those real world things that I need to get done. You're playing in a different world, essentially. You're almost playing a video game when you're playing DeFi. It is real money because it can be turned into real money, but you got to be extremely
You got to
disciplined
pay
about
yourself.
doing that. You got to be extremely disciplined about actually turning it into real money. And anyone who's doing well, my strategy, guys, 200 a day, every day for the US, 6 grand. I don't live like a king. I have zero debt. I drive a decent car. I can afford my bills, and I'm always paid ahead.
Yeah.
Uh, it's very low stress, meaning that if something were to trigger, like, okay, you lost everything, I had all my money in UST, it was gone, I still am not on getting calls from, hey, this is your bank, you're back on your mortgage, hey, you owe money on your car, your insurance. I'm survived X amount of months, if not years, with these payments. So if you do make money, don't feel bad about taking it out of crypto, turn it into cash. My whole deal is,
Mm.
if I get into a trade with 20 BNB and I exit with a value of 20.5 BNB, I'm throwing that 0.5 BNB into my bank. And then what did I lose? Nothing. I didn't lose any crypto value. I just gained US dollar value. So treat, if you are an active trader, and this conversation is kind of tailored towards active traders right now. If you are an active trader, I've seen so many for some reason just not pay themselves. And this
Yeah.
spans back into stocks too. I've seen
Uh,
successful active traders not pay themselves. I've been in that situation before where I've been making money, but
oh yeah.
still not have money in my bank account for some reason. I'll be a ton of money in my brokerage account, no money in my bank account. And I'm going, I don't want to take any out of my brokerage because that's how I make
I know.
money. That frugal mentality, you got to pay yourself. It always catches up to you.
You got to remember when you see those numbers and digits on the computer screen, phone screen, like, those are real dollars. So what really helped me is one day, I fell into that trap too. I was like, nah, I got to keep it in there. Like I can make X amount more if I keep it in there, etc. I took like $500 out. I transferred it to my bank. I went into the bank. I was like, I'll take $500 in 20s, please. And I just kept that in my wallet. And, anytime I was starting to get that feeling like, let me keep it in there, you just pull it out. You don't even need 500. Even if you just had $200 and $20 bills, you just kind of flip through it. It's like, that's what I'm like actually like risking here. It's a decent amount of money, I guess for me, and I'm sure with other people too, which probably is why people get into credit card debt in this country, is because they're not handling real cash, so they don't really know what they're spending. If you got real cash, you got $200 in your hand, it's just a good reminder what you're risking when you're not paying yourself. So I don't know if that could help anyone else out there. I know it worked for me, but if you're having a hard time paying yourself, or paying your bills or doing anything really with crypto, or even if you have a good profit, you have a good stretch, you make a lot of money, you got to pay yourself, you got to take it out. Just keep some cash on hand, and anytime you're doubting it, pull it out, flip through it, and go, you know what, it's just the wise decision is to pay myself. I got responsibilities, I got a future, I want to be around for tomorrow.
Yeah, and I've had one friend extremely close to me grew up with, and I've had other friends that I've met online and through business that were the people who got into like Cardano, got into even Ethereum, even BNB, very, very low, where it was like a tens of thousands of X type situation. My message to them was the same as like, hey, sell $200 a day. If you're sitting on 200 grand worth of, let's say Ethereum, what does it hurt selling $200 a day? If you stay constant selling $200 a day, your cost average of exiting is that of the mean of the year. You couldn't ask for a better cost average. So staying consistent every day, every day, every day, regardless of price, you're taking your deal. If you have the money to do this, obviously, you're getting the best cost average. You're getting the actual yearly mean cost average. You couldn't ask for anything more fair or better. And if you believe crypto year over year will continue to rise, then next year you'll get a better cost average on your paycheck. And then the next year you'll get a better cost average.
And you just
So
keep doing that until we get to a day where, hey, maybe crypto, Bitcoin, XRP, whatever token coin you got is able to be paid for a car, for gas, for rent,
yeah,
and then it's cool. Then I'll just pay for it with Ethereum, whatever it is.
yeah,
But until we get
exactly.
to that day, that point, you just got to be smart. You got to just take care of yourself and your family.
Yeah, and especially, and again, I'm speaking from a very Western standpoint, uh, especially out here in the West, you really need to figure out strategies because it's very hard to actually place your money somewhere that's quote unquote safe right now. Because we recognize, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk about it over and over and over again during these episodes, that really the US dollar putting cash under your mattress isn't a good idea, unfortunately. Inflation is all too real. The government's completely lying to us
Has
about
no
the
plan in
numbers.
place at all.
I was watching MSNBC, I believe. I don't remember who the anchor was. I didn't get a screenshot. You're going to have to believe me. Maybe someone has one out there. It was last night or the night before. It said they were doing a piece, and at the bottom it said inflation down 0.2%. So, and then you look up like the numbers, like the U.S. inflation graph
You
on
got to be
on the
fucking with us.
federal like website, and it's just a 90-degree arrow, just straight up. So with no pullback whatsoever. So you have so you
Complete
okay,
blue skies right there.
yeah, yeah. So you look at both of those. You go, okay, they're obviously lying to my fucking face for some reason, and I'm able to verify based on their numbers that they're lying to my face. The US dollar is not a safe place to hold your money. What does that mean? The housing market in the US and Western countries looks terrible too. What I'm personally doing with my money when it comes in, I got my budget. What I'm doing with mine is I'm making sure I pay off all my debts. That's first and foremost. You want to be debt free. Once you solve that, you'll be lighter on your feet. You'll be able to breathe easier and sleep better. That's why it's most important to solve that first. Solve your debt issues if you have any of them, and do it slowly. It's basically a trade when you do that. So you got to plan that trade and trade that plan and budget for that. Make sure to take care of your debt, and then maybe think about things not on a financial stance, not on where can I store my money to make more of it. I think you should start looking at where can I put my money to buy myself safety, and longevity. That's personally how I'm looking at it. And that may look different for everyone. Your personal safety and longevity dream may be on an island with a boat and a house, and this someone else's may be in the forest, someone else's may be in the desert, etc. But I would more think of things now on a safety and longevity, what you can buy with your money right away that buys you safety and longevity. Land, skill sets, solar, geothermal, cattle, maybe even, taking time to take classes on like farming, invest in different things like that. I think that's the best. Guns and ammo, unbelievable. Uh, I think that's what you should focus on. I don't think there's honestly a safe hedge against your money. I don't think there's a place you can store your money where it's safe. And before the gold bros and the silver bros get at me here, and I love you guys because they're the best. They're like the most patriotic group of like
God bless
investors, I
him.
guess you could
Yeah,
say.
I'm
They're
with you.
great.
God bless him.
Yeah, I love them. That being said, guys, the government's not going to buy back your shit. And if they do, what are they exchanging it for? More fiat? Doesn't work, kind of doesn't make sense. And B, you think that's going to be a traded commodity if shit hits the fan in the immediate. And I'm speaking of in the immediate. So do I think gold and silver, if shit hit the fan, would have value? Of course it would. But it would take a while for commerce to be established. And in that median term of survival, you're going to want the things I said. So consider it again.
Personally, yeah,
Go
sorry.
for it.
Personally, the number one investment, and this goes for any market condition, anything that's going on in the world. My number one investment that you could do and start right now is invest in yourself. The more skills you know, the more you can learn. It's just all the more power to you later on, you know? Each and every day you want to wake up like smarter, brighter, you know, more skilled, more knowledgeable than the day before because that's personally going to take you very far if you invest in yourself. You can't go wrong investing in yourself. But I know you mentioned cattle. I'm big on like, you know, farming, farmland too, because everyone's got to eat, you know, and you kind of
Self-sustainability,
can't go
man.
wrong with any kind of agriculture too, in a way.
Yeah, and my whole thing is like, I don't know if people are paying attention. Like, I guess, again, this is a separate subject. Maybe we get into it tomorrow. We'll do like a Friday fun, like general global outlook forecast deal. I think that'd kind of be cool. But guys, I don't know if you've been paying attention, to step away from crypto just for a second and DeFi. We're losing a lot of food processing plants. We're losing a lot of shipping routes. We're losing a lot of oil pipelines. And when I
It's
say
not really
losing,
being reported.
yeah, and when I say losing, I mean anywhere from a law being passed that nullifies our ability to gain resources from, or quite literally burn to the ground. And this goes as far as Target fulfillment centers, Amazon warehouse fulfillment centers. So we're seeing this phenomenon on a global scale. I don't know what to make of it. Um, it looks weird for sure. That being said, I also don't know how often these type of things burn down, or if it's just being
Yeah.
perpetuated to scare. I have no idea. So I'm not
It
going to
could be
jump to any
ironic too,
conclusions.
coming after the heels of COVID and supply chain
Yeah,
issues. We
but
don't
we're
know, but
seeing this.
it's
Exactly.
what do we to make of it when we already have established problems in society and the economy, the global economy? And how much more can it handle? You know, all these new challenges that keep popping up before it totally crumbles. That's what we're trying to figure out here between the two of us right now. You know, we
Yeah,
could
and
talk about this. I know we talked about this earlier today, even for a few hours. It's a fascinating subject for sure.
yeah, and I think that the supply chain issue, and I know that's kind of like a cool thing to say if you're on CNN and whatnot, it's like fun to talk about. But I'm not even speaking just what's happening in America. Globally, specific regions are having a really hard time getting A, B, or C. And specifically, if you look into Eastern Europe, they're heavily reliant on their natural gas from Russia. And you don't know what that looks like. People talk about Russia could launch a nuke, they could do an underwater nuke that cause a tidal wave. A lot of these like Marvel type, events that
Yeah,
could conspire. But in all
favorite for
reality,
Hollywood kind of storylines, but
exactly.
they
But in
don't
all
even need to do
reality,
that, as
yeah,
you said. I
exactly.
mean, you
Yeah, in
shut
all
off the
reality,
gas pipeline to all
that's
these
it.
countries in Europe. I mean, they're crippled.
Yeah,
I
in
hate to
three
say it, they're
days.
crippled.
Yeah, and their infrastructure is heavily dependent on them. So you have geo-global situations happening. You have China running their quote-unquote, their words, not mine, rehearsal drills for the invasion of Taiwan that started last night or today. I don't know. In the past 48 hours, they started, kicked off. Who knows if they're actually going to invade during this quote-unquote rehearsal, or if they are just rehearsing for an invasion. Either way, you got to understand what we get from that country that they're going to be invading. We get essentially all our small components, electrical components. I myself do work in small electronics, buying and selling and shipping overseas and whatnot, and it will have an effect on everything. I know this firsthand. So if both of those things coincide, or just one in itself happens, we're looking at a 3-day better have your shit together. So it's not a bad idea to throw some money at preparation.
To say the least, yeah.
Yeah.
It's never a bad idea regardless of what's going on, because you want to be self-sufficient, self-reliant. But with everything that's going on out there right now, it's never been a better time to maybe pick up a book, or learn how to farm or something like that. It's valuable.
Yeah, and you'll like it too. That's the thing. Like I stayed inside video game trading, doing bullshit applications way before crypto stuff, doing small electronic stuff forever and ever and ever, doing some soldering. Like I was a homebody. I got into gardening, farming, where I am. I love it. I think it probably made me better at trading too. I think you'd be surprised if you get into some of these more natural human type skill sets and start developing them, how much healthier you'll be, and how much more alive you'll feel. And that kind of goes back into the whole mental health portion of this.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna have to dedicate a couple podcasts just on this subject, because I know both of us,
yeah,
we
I've
have a
almost
lot
jumped
of
off the
firsthand
fucking
experience
bridge.
with this, and it's just amazing the difference you'll feel.
Yeah,
It's night and day
yeah.
difference. I
I
feel
mean,
it's you feel like a different person. You
how
really
many
do. It's
traders,
amazing.
how many traders like after a bad day, like they all get on the phone and go, "I'm gonna drive my car into a wall going 120." Like
Yeah.
that's like what everyone says. That's how you feel. It's hard waters. It's a battlefield of your mind to be able to trade successfully. You're balancing
Mm.
greed and then obviously loss. It's a very, very thin line. That's why, again, you got to the best of your ability. I don't know if it's possible to take 100% out. You got to take that emotion out of it, and it does make me sad seeing. I still laugh because it's crazy, and I think some of that shit's trolling too. Why wouldn't it be? But yeah, it's crazy, that whole UST Lunaterra situation. God bless all those people. Truly, it's fucked up. I couldn't
Yeah,
imagine.
it's amazing. It's amazing. I mean, how does anyone at Citadel? How are they going home at night and sleeping after what they did?
Yeah, and that's like the rumorville right now. But it was such a large amount where the way I think about it is like, okay, it was either some institutional retarded big money, or it was a Luna whales. You say, let's say it's whales. We've seen like top 20 wallet whale dump outs before, and not do this kind of damage. And I'm not like a solidity black belt, so I can't get in that contract and see like if it was built to fail or some shit. Which, by the way, I think it was. Is it? Don't quote me on this, guys. Is it Do Kwon, the dev for Lunaterra? Didn't he have a stable peg project that in like 2020 that went to 147 million market cap and then failed? Again, like don't quote me. Do your own due diligence. But I'm pretty sure that he was involved in some way in another stablecoin project that the peg failed. So, it goes back to do your due diligence. Um, I don't know. I feel bad for the people though. I definitely feel bad for those people. That's fucked. And I feel blessed. I didn't wasn't really into their ecosystem. I didn't use UST or Lunaterra. And it was huge. You know, I saw in all the rooms I'm in and the people I'm involved with, a lot of those guys fucked around with Terra. And you saw it got so big that there were like meme tokens and rewards tokens being made off of them, like Tiny Terra and whatnot on all the like BSC net and whatnot. So, you know, it just goes to show the size. I hope the sentiment's fixed though. And you know, if you did lose money and you are at rock bottom right now and you have quite literally like $0, no money to pay anything, you have bills coming up, you're still alive, you still got air running through your body, you still got electricity running through your body.
It could
If
be
you
worse.
had if you had it once before, your mind already has the vibration of what it feels like to have it. I think you'd be surprised on how much easier it is to get it again the second time. And a lot of people have to do that. That's the story of a lot of people's success.
Self-investment right there.
Yep. But on that note, I'll let you wrap it up and then we'll say goodbye. I think we've been on for like 30 minutes.
In
I don't know.
about 45 minutes.
45? Yeah, we always go a little longer. That's perfect, though. I'll let.
I just wanted to actually circle back to what we were talking about, previously, because I know a lot of people do struggle with this too. If you have a long-term mindset on, like, say, crypto, and you're a long-term investor, I know a lot of people do struggle with this, and I did too when I first started trading. It's okay to sell it. It's okay to flip it, at certain points. So if BNB is popping off, it's going pure blue skies. It's at $500-600. It's looking like it's topped out. It's okay to sell it there because you're securing your profits. So let's say you sell it for $5,000. It's a hell of a lot better than holding it all the way back down to 200, right? Well, now you can circle back, and when it's at $200, clearly looks like a bottom now. It's hammering and everything. All the indicators are at the bottom. Well, now you can come back in with the $5,000 and buy even more BNB or whatever coin token it is for the long term. And you're supporting the chart. You're supporting the chart patterns that are going to turn bullish again. So I just want to reiterate that it's okay if you're a long-term investor, you're a hodler, anything like that. It's okay to play the chart. It's okay to like make it healthy, keep it vibrant for the long term. So don't be afraid to do some flips or trades on there, even if you're a long-term hodler.
Yep, facts, wise words. And just to add to that, it's you actually grow your bag by doing that. You know, like thankfully, we have the ability to swap with stables. For example, I love BNB and I use BNB BUSD kind of as my main deal. I'm really getting more involved in Crow, but I digress. The BNB BUSD swapping, it's very simple through Trust Wallet. And if your goal is to have as much BNB as possible, if you can swap, 100 BNB when it's at $400 for 40 grand in BUSD, and then watch it go down to $300 and buy, what is that? That would be 120 BNB for 40 grand. You just you just added 20-25% to your bag. If you want to hold that forever, even if BNB goes down to 200, you got 25 more BNB than you had before. So
Even more power, especially when you got an asset that's burning tokens, burning coins, burning supply. Any of those terms right there. It's if you're accumulating your position while also helping burn that asset, it's a trifecta. It's going to pay off in the long run. So again, just don't be scared, even if you're a crazy hodler. Don't be
yeah,
scared to just play the chart setups. It's just going to make the asset that much stronger, in the future.
yeah, guys, and really, this conversation was centered around like active traders, swing traders, day traders, pattern traders. If you don't fall in this category and you want to fall in this category, I can tell you it's probably one of the easiest things you'll ever learn. You do not have to be Rain Man. Trading View, the most popular charting app, combined with YouTube, just Googling chart patterns, chart setups. You can learn all these chart setups and chart patterns and treat it like a class. This is what I did. I made a PowerPoint and I did flashcards and I drew the little. Hey guys, sorry about that. I think my internet blipped out for a second there. So if it sounds like there's a weird random cut in that audio when I was babbling, that is my fault. That won't happen again. We're getting better by the day. But anyway, I'll pass it off to Xavier and have him close it out.
Yeah, thank you again, guys, for listening. It means the world to us, truly. Let's see if we get some bounces here tonight, and we have some exciting stuff to talk about tomorrow for Friday. But make sure you follow us on Twitter. We got the Discord room. We got the minor pool. If you got any questions about any of that, message either of us at any time. Also, tune in every day. We're going to be holding Twitter Spaces. It's going to be another exciting outreach for the whole Milk and Honey brand, and that's going to be held by our third founder. So definitely tune into that daily. We're not sure what time we'll be holding it every day, but definitely just keep tabs on our Twitter account for that, because you definitely are not going to want to miss that. So yeah, it's just thank you again.